welcome to Crafting with Jane. Today I thought that I've been looking through my drawers. I told you I've been doing a lot of sorting and tidying, and I went to a craft fair ages ago and bought this Deco Foil, and you can use it with, says me, let's see if I can get it open. Don't even know if I've opened this one at all. Probably should have tried it before oops, there we go. You get little sheets of, and you get a little thing that tells you what to do. And so we just need one sheet of this, and it gives you foiling, but you don't have to use a foiling machine. So you can have, oh my goodness, great big huge piece. Don't want anything that big. I want it, let's cut it down so that I don't have, oh, and there's lots of them as well. Oh, hundreds of them, right. So let's organise this a little bit better. So I need to, hope this isn't blinding you. So you get, oh, I don't know, half a dozen sheets like this, and I need to cut it down to the size of the paper. So let's do this way round so it's not blinding you all. So I'm going to cut it down to the size of the paper that I want to use, and we're going to just have a bit of an experiment with it, because as I say, a lot of these things you have to use laminating machines and things, and I remember seeing a little demonstration at the craft fair that I went to, and there's another one coming up in September. It's over at Farnborough where the air show is, and that's where you can they have a really good craft show down there. People come from all over the place. It's a bit like an NEC one, but not quite so big, and they do all sorts of things there, and it's like everything. You go along and you go like, I don't really need anything, and then you buy these things and you never ever use them. So as you can see, I've never used this, but I remember them saying that you can do it without having to, let's put this back in the tube, you can do it without having to use a laminator or anything. And so I thought I would try something very simple with stripes. So I've cut this. I've already just put the tape on because you don't want to see me struggling putting tape on. And I've done it in a diagonal. So I'm going to hopefully, depends how old this tape is, because again, all of this stuff is what I've got in my drawer. So hold on, let's rub the tape on first of all, so we know that it's nice and adhered. Let's do it one at a time and see how that comes out. As I say, I'm not very good with these tape things, so it might be a bit of a disaster. We'll have to see if I can get it up from the corners. I tell you what, I do. There must be an easier way of doing this. It's probably why I don't do journaling and things like that, because these tapes, they look as if they should be easy to take up, and then they're not. So you can see why I like liquid glue, but I'm going to persevere, because this little technique will work very well if I can get the glue up. So I'm just gonna, you might want to fast forward this bit because it might take me a little while. I suppose I should have probably done this beforehand, shouldn't I? But it should come up. They're supposed to be really easy to take up, and I have no idea why they're not easy to take up. Is it coming up or not? Let's have a look and see. Right, now it is. Okay, so that's one. Take that down. Let's hopefully the other ones will be a little bit easier. So what about taking it up from, I only need to take it up from a little corner, don't I? I'll take it up from the corner and see if that'll, there we go. That's better. So this is double-sided tape, but again, it's not new. I've had it quite a long time, because as I say, it's like everything. You buy a roll and you think, oh, I'll use this, you then struggle to be able to take it up. And it's one of those things, if you can get a little corner up, it's a bit like the red line tape. I've got some of that as well that I probably should use, but I thought I'd use this because it's a bit wider. So we need to take all of these pieces out. And while I'm doing that, I'm like just listening to the weather outside. It's still, we're well into May now, and the weather has just been terrible this year. It's not been nice at all. We've had horrible wet weather. We had the coronation the other week, and it was an amazing spectacle to see. It really was. I absolutely loved watching it, but my goodness, it rained and it rained and it rained, and all of the people that were there watching it were just turning around and saying, oh, it doesn't make any difference, it doesn't. I can't think of anything worse than getting absolutely soaked through to the skin to watch the coronation. I think it was amazing. It was a real spectacle. I did enjoy every moment of it, but I was in the dry. I could have gone down to my local. There were a lot of places they had it on big screens, so you could go down and watch it on the big screen, and I was tempted to go and do that, but I didn't, because, as I say, it was pouring with rain, and I thought I really don't want to be standing out in the rain, and I didn't know whether they'd put, you know, little gazebos or things like that up. I wasn't sure, so I thought, right, I'll just watch it on the television. So I sat and watched, and also did quite a bit of crafting at the same time too, or thought of ideas and things, because I thought, well, it was amazing, that gold carriage that was evidently made by Canadians, or given to them, the king, by Canada, and it was made out of wood and then carved, and, as I say, evidently the wood came from, I can't remember what they said, two famous ships. So I think like HMS Victory and somewhere else, they'd taken it from there. So it was incredible, you know, encrusted with gold, and really quite ornate. So this card is going to be a little bit, hopefully, ornate once I can get these pieces off. This is the last one, so I'm just hoping that I can get this last one. And now, of course, it's sticky, and this one's in the middle, but I am trying. As I say, I don't know. There must be some tricks to doing this thing, but I have never managed to find them. I find it the most difficult thing in the world. I know people use their little picks, and maybe because this is quite old, but we're there now. So we've now got stripes of glue, and I've got little bits of hair on there as well. I've no idea what that's come from. Probably from the old, well, it'll have to stay on there now, and hopefully it won't show too much. So we then put this down right side up, so the shiny part at the top and the other part at the bottom. So I'm hoping that this will go all the way down, and hopefully we'll go, oh dear, says me, getting it all twisted. It shouldn't have been twisted, it should have come nice and flat. But what we need to do is we need to smooth it on here like that. And I've got just an old lolly stick. They're crafting lolly sticks that I've had for the grandchildren a long time ago. And then we need to just sort of like burnish it across where the where this glue is, and hopefully it will come out. As I say, I'm not sure got one at the bottom here, haven't we? So I think you have to do it quite firmly, but as I say, I'm not 100% sure. I'm just hoping that it will come out. So while I'm rubbing this up and down, whoops, hopefully not tearing it as I'm going. Yes, so I think that most people will have watched the coronation all the way around the world. And I say, I think it's one of those things that you see once in a lifetime. I remember my little mum, she watched the coronation in London, because she lived in London at the time. So she was there in amongst all the crowds, and I've got photographs and things of her at the coronation, and it was quite incredible. Right, let's have a look and see if this is going to come out or not. We'll see. I'm not sure. I'm not totally convinced. Is that coming out? Oh, I think it might be. I think we might need to give it a bit more of a rub. It's quite sticky. I just need to make sure that all of these pieces are rubbed in right up to the corners, I think. Let's have a go and see. It might not work, it might work. Oh yes, look, there we go. Right, so you have to pull it off quite a bit. Look at this. Let's take it down from here, out in a line. There we are. And now we've got, so I've got this that I can use for another bit and do it the other way around. That might be quite fun. And this has all come, I can just sort of burnish off the little edge pieces. But you've now got this all foiled, and all I've used is, as I say, some sticky tape rather badly. So you have a really nice foiled look. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to put, I've got this card that I've had for a while, and I thought if I put this on there, that will make it look very, very bright and shiny looking. And I thought that that would work quite well. So I'm just looking for some wet glue. I'm going to put a little bit of wet glue on here. So this is, as I say, it's using up. If you don't have this, just use different papers and things. It was just, I thought it would be quite nice to use 3 different types of sort of silvery. So this is this sort of, I don't know what it's called, holographic paper, bit like that. And I'm just going to put this piece in on top. So we've got the two different looks. Is that straight? No, that's all over the place, isn't it? Dear me. Right, let's get that straight. I'm in a not straight mood at the moment. I seem to be getting everything completely at a skew whiff. And I don't know whether it's because of old age and eyesight or what, but it's quite funny sometimes. The acetate card I was doing the other day was hysterical because I didn't get that straight at all. Now I think that's quite fun. So I've then got to finish it off with, let me just run my thumb along here. Oh, that hasn't quite stuck onto there, has it? It will in a minute. Okay, so we've got that on there. Then what I've done is I've just die cut some houses and coloured them out. I've had these quite a while in my stash thing, so I thought it would be quite nice to put these in on here. So do I have big, small, little like that? I think that'll work. So I'm going to take one like that there, one on the other side. So let's do it with, I'm doing it with glue because I don't want lots of layers. I know a lot of you have been telling me that your postage has gone up and it's getting more and more expensive. So I'm just making sure that I don't use too many layers, but I wanted this to be sort of quite using different sparkly silvers, just to show that you can do that without using paper, and as I say, using this foil, which I think is quite fun. Now I'm just going to try and get this down on this side straight-ish, roughly straightish, with just a little bit of a gap at the side, and then this one can go in on the middle. I always find if you do one side and then the other side, it's easier to then make sure that you've got it as lined up as you can get it. So that can come in on the centre like that, and that can go down. So that's quite fun. And then I've just got a little, because this can be a housewarming one, I've just got a little welcome that can go in across the top. Again, I'm just doing it with some wet glue. Now you saw how long it took me to do that tape stuff, but wet glue is really easy to use. It's literally, you just draw it like a pen, and it always gets into all of the little crevices and things and works absolutely perfectly. So that's that. That's going to go in straight over the top like that as a welcome. There we go. And then we've got this, which gives you, hopefully you can see all of the foiling on there and the card, and it just gives a bright, cheery looking card, which I think will be quite fun. And uses these things that I haven't used before, which is Deco Foil. So Deco Foil that you can use on fabric, paper, and I think you can use it on metal, all sorts of things. So I might give it a go on something else. I don't know. I'm just going to try and get the lid on carefully. And there we go. That was something. 5 sheets you get, 6 by 12. So there we are. That's my first little go at doing something like that. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.